Hello everybody, my name is Michael, and welcome back to Dark Souls 1. Today we're going to be doing the Great Hollow. This is the area where we got the Claranthi Ring, and the area where you can farm, a good bonfire for farming those leech things that have the large Titanite shards. And it is just on the other end of Lighttown, sort of at the opposite end than where Quillag's boss room is. I'm down here. This is a completely optional area. It's actually sort of a hidden area. You can't actually get in here without going through a couple of secret doors, but it's totally optional. To be honest, there's not a tremendous amount of value down here. There are some dragon scales, and there's some great lore stuff, and if we get lucky and meet Sigmire, there will be a Titanite slab, so there'll be that. But other than that, not too much. This entire area is probably the most vertical in the entire game. This is a gigantic hollow tree. And this is one of the arch trees, the trees that actually form the basic structure of this world that we live in. There's really no planet or anything underneath us. It's just these trees sort of containing everything. And these titanic trees were the homes of the ancient dragons that were destroyed by Gwyn at the start of the Age of Fire. And it's, like I said, it's a titanic drop to the bottom, and there are 1,000 ways to fall off anywhere. And they bait you to try to fall off by giving all sorts of bits of Titanite here and there. We've already been down here and gathered 2 of the pieces of Titanite. I think both. I think 2. And there are a few more to get. That might be... We may have to die and respawn up there because it's not simple. It's a little bit on the tricky side. I should also point out that there are, it's the enemy of this area, basilisks. And those basilisks, if you remember, can cause the curse status. That's red Titanite. I believe that one over there is regular Titanite. I think we must have forgotten to get one. And there are some basilisks over there, so we're going to have to be super careful if we can get over there. I think we can. I'm going to try to grab it and run. Killed them in one hit, that's pretty nice. There are a few more, though. Add is a large, nameless, it's a soul, it doesn't matter. We're going to keep going. I noticed we had a very low curse resistance bar pop up there, so we can die pretty quickly from curse. If you're worried about that, you can put on the Dingy set, the Firekeeper set from Firelink Shrine. Her set is actually really good for resisting curse. Have I killed myself? Well, I got myself in an area I'm going to die. Come on. Trying to kind of sort of walk off in this weird way. Nope. Fuck that. Bug it. Bug it. Okay, I'll do that again. I'm not great at the jumping and height portion of this of this game, as you've probably noticed. I don't think I'm even going to try to recover my souls. Should I try to jump down here? Is that quicker? This is where the Claranthi Ring was. And is it quicker to go down here, maybe? Maybe. A little bit. I'm not super comfortable with this area, as you can tell. It's very, very confusing. I'm back where I was. I don't really know if this is the right way or not. Let's see. Should I try to jump down there? Or should I try to go down this way? Maybe down this way. I don't think I'm all that far away from getting the... Wait, is that the one with the ladder? Please be the one with the ladder. Yes? No, I'm not there yet. There's one of these areas where you go down and there's actually a ladder that you can climb down a significant amount of the way, but... Oh, look, here it is. Found it. Sweet. And we're just going to jump down. And I'm probably going to pull out my bow in a minute. There's some stuff up there. There's some other kind of Titanite up there. There's probably white. I already got the red one. I believe there are two regular Titanite chunks. Oh, one of them fell to his death. Always fun to say. And, oop, now I need 2. That's annoying. I think if I was getting my dex up a little more, that would be okay. Did that one die? No, that one died in one hit, I think. Was it because of the range of the other one it didn't die in one hit? Okay, where is the ladder? To get down to the next area, I don't think there's anything on this bottom floor of this tree. I guess it's the bottom floor of the tree. There's sort of another area below it. And we're about to go into another area. We're really just going to try to run by the enemies here. There are more of those horrible basilisk creatures down here. And we are just going to try to run past them and hope we do not get cursed. And try to get to the next area. That little, that soul item there is, oh fuck me, fucking hell. Oh, I meant to do that. I completely meant to do that. Totally intentional. But what's down here is mysteriously the mushroom guys from Darkroot Basin are back. And for some reason the little ones are hostile. I do not like that. I wouldn't mind if both areas they were hostile or both areas they did nothing. But you shouldn't have them hostile in one area and essentially harmless in the Darkroot Garden. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe there's some sort of lore explanation for it, but I doubt it. And we're actually on gigantic mushrooms here, so that's really cool looking. And we have the big mushrooms down here, and as we all know, those big mushrooms are not to be fucked with. They are serious business, and we are going to walk right by those guys. And let's head out here. And be careful around this area. I actually got stuck in the ground here and had to use my, what is it called? Dark sign to get away from here because I couldn't move and I couldn't reload the game. I tried to use a homeward bone. I mean, I didn't have any homeward bones on me. It didn't work. Over there is a Hydra called the Black Hydra, tougher version of the one we found. But down here is a very important person that we are going to have a chat with. It is Siglinda, and unfortunately, Sigmire has perished. Let's talk to her.
My father, all hollow now, he's been subdued. He will cause no more trouble. It's finally over. I will return to Katerina. You assisted us most greatly. I can hardly return the favor, but please accept this. It's of no use to me now. Oh, Father. Dear Father. Oh, Father.
This area here and listen to the amazing music in the background. A bunch of questions. Is Sigmire permanently dead? Because he can't be, right? He's hollow. So how, but by the way she's acting and everything going on here, it makes it seem like he's permanently bought the farm. So I don't know what they're talking about exactly. Yeah. But it is very, very tragic here that she's mourning the death of her father, if I guess he's permanently dead. Well, he still has some collision on the body. It doesn't have like a, ragdoll thing. That's interesting. This is very, very sad, and I managed, against all odds, to actually finish Sigmire's quest line. I'm very happy about that, because, wow, was this a tough quest to figure out. Even though I have the wiki in front of me and all this experience doing it, I'm always still a little concerned that I'm getting it wrong, because you have to do everything in this persnickety exact sort of way. So, yeah, that is the last that we will ever see of Sigmire or Siglinda. I believe they're going to fade away here, or maybe when we leave the area. I guess we're going to have to warp away for them to disappear, but their storyline is officially over, and we have another Titanite slab, and we will upgrade our bow, Black Bow of Ferris, to its maximum point. Although really, as I mentioned many times, the really plus 14 and plus 15, there's not a huge difference, so it doesn't really matter too much with those slabs. Now let's take a look at this area. This is Ash Lake, and at the end of Demon Souls, the first game in the series, we sort of fell down through this nexus place, the hub area, into this bizarre beach. And on this beach were these ancient ruins, almost like Greek ruins of some sort of civilization that didn't look like anything we'd seen before. and the final boss of the game. And there's something similar down here. There's no final boss, but there's still this bizarre beach with an eerie atmosphere. I mean, it's so amazing. Look at the shafts of light coming through the clouds there. This is presumably what the world looked like before the Age of the Gods, the Age of Fire, except that there are a lot more of those stone dragons wandering around. And I don't know exactly what's going on with these trees either, because we heard that the trees were burned down and destroyed by the Witch of Izalith. So, is that what happened to them? Were they burned down and destroyed? I don't know. They seem to be here, or are they all hollow like that one, and they're really just dead trees supporting the world? But how is the world being supported anyway? And we're sort of like on a sand dune here. Just be wary of standing on the edge here. You could fall off. So this area is just amazing. The atmosphere is some of the best in the entire game. And tragically, you can't invade people down here. This seems like a perfect place to invade. Convenient bonfires, cool setting, plenty of open space, plenty of places to lead people to die. I don't know why you can't invade here. But anyway, let's take a look at that guy. That is the Black Hydra. He's tougher than the original one, and we have to fight him in much the same way that we fought the other one. There's really no difference to it. Although, I'm afraid that I must show you something really, really cool about this. And I'm going to run away from the Hydra, and we are going to watch what happens. We're going to have to get a good distance away from the Hydra. Let's see, come on. Is this far enough? I don't know if he's ready. And there's a dragon scale. We can get, I think, 2 or 3 more dragon scales in this area. Let's keep going. Keep going. Just running by. Come on. Come on, honey. Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to do it. Come on. Come on, my Hydra. He's going to do it any second now, don't you worry. Just give him a minute. We're probably going to die here, but I want to try to show this to you. Take a look. I think he's doing it. Look. Look. Oh my god, look at that. That's amazing. The Hydra can actually jump out of the water and land in another area. That is awesome. If you didn't know that about this area, well, now you do. This is a clam. The clam is the toughest enemy in the entire game. What, you think I'm fucking joking? I'm not joking. The clam is the toughest enemy in the entire game. Now, I don't know if I'm going to die here or actually be able to finish him off, but let's see how things go. Well, I definitely hit him, it just didn't do terribly much damage. Now that I think about it, it may actually be beneficial to lead the dragon all the way over here, because he did his little water blast attack virtually not at all. So it may actually be a good thing to bring the dragon all the way over there. So anyway, I thought that was really cool. I did not discover that for a long, long time, because I always came down here and fought the Hydra, but once I was just like, fuck it, I don't care. I just ran past him, assuming he couldn't follow. And then he jumped over there and my jaw dropped. These are wonderful little nuances that you can find in the game that just make it incredible. Now we got 2 dragon scales from killing the Hydra. We got 1 dragon scale inside of that hollow tree, or that log over there. And I believe there is 2 more over here, or 1 more. And 1 more. I think there's 1 more actually over here. So you can get quite a few dragon scales by coming down here. And that makes sense, because we're actually going to encounter the Dragon Covenant in just a few minutes at the end of this area. And let us get over here and talk about an enemy that I briefly encountered over here, the Giant Clam. The Giant Clam is, bar none, the toughest enemy in the entire game. Period. I'm not kidding about that. It absolutely is the toughest enemy in the entire game. And it is incredibly strong. It has a huge amount of HP. It is fast. It can tear away at a shield. It is swift. I mean, it is just one of the toughest enemies in the entire game. Look at this. Bam! That can lay you out. Those little blades, that little swipe there, it is so fast and so quick, and you can't really do any kind of real, you can't parry it. Blocking it is really hard. They do drop Twinkling Titanite though, and if you take a close look at the inside of the clam, those are not pearls, those are human skulls. And I think this is actually kind of a sex joke that the Dark Souls guys put in the game, because the 2 strongest enemies in the entire game are a clam and a mushroom. The mushroom being a phallic-shaped object, and the clam obviously being more of a vagina. So I think that's kind of a sex joke. Penis, vagina, and they're the toughest enemies in the game. Unexpectedly, incredibly strong. So I really, really like that. These guys also drop purging stones that you would need if you got cursed up there by one of the basilisks. What the hell is this? No one knows what the heck this is, why it is here, what it is of. It is just a plain old mystery. And God knows if you can tell me what the heck this thing is, because it has fangs, it has demonic horns, it is obviously ancient. It presumably predates the Age of Fire, so it was an ancient ruin even in the days of the ancient world, in the Age of the Dragons. So where did this come from? This is one of those ineffable mysteries of the universe, I think. I don't think I've ever heard a satisfactory explanation for what that skull was doing there anywhere. And I really, really love it, because it just adds this intractable layer of mystery onto everything. There's a moment in a work by Xenophon in ancient Greece where his men, ancient Greek soldiers that have come across, I think the work was called the Anabasis, this magnificent, almost like the prototypical action movie or adventure story in history, describing his men working as mercenaries for the Persians, suddenly have to escape Persia and go hundreds of miles all the way from Persia back to Greece. And as they're retreating, they come across, in the midst of this fighting, a bizarre ancient city that looks like it had been ruined there for hundreds or thousands of years, and they wondered, what ancient creatures or people or civilization or races built this bizarre city. And that city was actually Nineveh, from the Assyrians, the last gasp of the previous layer of civilization, Mesopotamia, before the classical era with the Greeks, Persians, and Romans. So, it's just layers on layers of mystery. This next area, this tree here, is fairly tough. It's another hollow tree, but it's a fairly small one. It involves a little bit of jumping It involves a little bit of luck, because everything with jumping involves luck with here. And there are also basilisks and mushrooms here at the same time, so that makes this tricky. What you want to do is come down over here. You can actually drop down onto this edge. We are careful. Took forever nudging down there. We can come in here and get a miracle. I do not know if this miracle is especially useful, but we can come and get it. Great Magic Barrier. I don't think I've ever really used that miracle, which is strange because I've used the warding miracle in Demon Souls like crazy. That was incredibly useful. But this Great Magic Barrier and Magic Barrier, I don't really know if that's terribly useful. These guys look like they're trying to get up here, and that's not good. I don't believe there's anything else of use in this tree, so I think I'm just going to try to get out of here. I don't think there's anything else of use. Not that I can remember. Can you jump up here? Oh, you can't jump up here. That fuck. Okay. I thought there was a fog gate there for a second. I got confused. Okay. So let's just head out of here. I don't think there's anything else of use. Magic Barrier, I think, just provides sort of like a shielding attack to you. Oh, where is it? Cover body and powerful defense magic coating. Havel the Rock, an old battlefield compatriot of Lord Gwyn, was the sworn enemy of Seath the Scaleless. He despised magic and made certain to devise means of counteraction. So maybe it'd be useful to cast it on yourself if you're going into the Duke's archives. But otherwise, I don't know about that. If you want to farm Twinkling Titanite, this is one of the places you can do it. These guys also show up, by the way, mysteriously, in just outside. Whoa! See how many hits that took? It was crazy. These clam guys show up just outside of Seath's boss door. Although I'm wondering now if they have different coloration there. But maybe I'm just imagining things. So that Twinkling Titanite is pretty darn good. And you can farm it. I'm not even using the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring, and I've already gotten 2 pieces out of 3 clams. So that's pretty darn impressive, I think. Let's just check over here where we can meet the Ancient Dragon. And he looks like one of the ancient stone immortal dragons. So apparently they did not all die. This is very reminiscent of what was done way back in one of my older videos about Dark Souls 2, where apparently they said all of the giants were wiped out, and this guy's the last giant. And then it turns out bullcrap. There are a bunch of other giants wandering around Drangleic. So they're apparently not the last giants. And just take a look at this guy. He looks sort of vampiric, covered in this bat-like armor here. Let's take a look here. Amazing. Just beautiful. They have 4 wings. These are the dragons from the very beginning of the game. And he is on some sort of nest, almost like a bird perched up there. And he just looks incredible. Let's take a look at this guy up here. Wow. That is truly impressive. A sort of fur on him, almost. And tragically, this is the only bonfire that you can warp to. So if you go to that other bonfire at the beginning where Sigmire is, and you warp away, you can't warp back to that. You gotta go all the way through the Great Hollow again. So come to this one before you warp away. And let's just check back over here to something very peculiar. Remember, all of the dragon enemies, like the Gaping Dragon and Priscilla, you can cut their tails off and get a special weapon. For some reason or another, I don't know why, you can cut this guy's tail off, and he's just cool with it. He doesn't care. I got nothing. I don't know why he doesn't care that you cut his tail off. Maybe he's just old and impassive. And now we just the sword that we just got, the Dragon Greatsword, is a gigantic sword that requires 50 strength to one hand. So you're pretty much always going to be two-handing it, and then you still need to be a strength character to get up in, I don't know, the 30s or 40s or something like that to use it. The dragon here, we can actually enter a covenant, and if we do that, we get a special dragon headstone, and that allows our head to be replaced with a dragon's head that can breathe fire. It looks pretty cool. I don't necessarily want to do that right now because I'm still doing the Chaos Servant thing. Might want to do a couple of other covenants, but I'll probably come back and do that there. And you have to turn in dragon scales to him. And when you turn in the dragon scales, right here, a dragon is inseparable from its scales, and the transcendent apostles who seek the perpetuity of the ancient dragons have crossed over. So that's something that is more important to Dark Souls 2 than to this game, but you just bring him dragon scales, and he will give you the ability to power up your dragon headstone and get the dragon body stone, which I'm not that crazy about. I don't think it looks very good. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up the story right about here and point at my friend